your sins? Have you entered the magical realm or maybe got a tad bit too horny? Are you a killer GM or did you let your players walk all over you? Confess and be forgiven. I started a homosexual ERP with my co-DM and I feel great about it.
Well, we're off to a good start, guys.
On a related note, I never get pangs of guilt or what the kids call post-nut clarity. Also, to be honest, I think that putting IRL politics should be seen at the same level as magical realming, as in it ruins the game for people, and should be treated in the same vein.
Yeah. Although I feel like politics, the problem with politics in this day and age is it seeped its way into fucking
everything.
There's not one thing that you
buy
can talk
a cabbage
about.
at the shopping centre and it's like, do you support?
yeah. I noticed the other day, I'm not even joking, we bought cat tweets and it had like
a pride flag on it.
Yeah, and I was like, what do cat tweets have to do with any of this?
I know.
I don't get it. But yeah, no, I do agree with that sentiment, but I feel like it's almost impossible to at this point in time, so...
I don't like the term freak shit, but personally custom lineage is far more freak shit than the usual races that TG bitches about could ever be. Especially if they can just crossbreed with each other. Custom lineage in general, soft banned. Not for making races that aren't in the... What?
I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say with that.
What? The creativity crowd are too fucking annoying in general and seems to be a magnet for that guys. All the SJWs that I played with in general have been that guys. Not because of their politics, but because they were shitty people that like to be borderline sociopaths to other people.
I think we covered this in a previous one, not actually all that long ago. I feel like the biggest problem you get with a lot of like extreme, they
so offended when you offend other people, but they're not. They're so rude in general.
Yeah,
they don't care.
One of the best ones I love is that Latinx term.
No.
Have you heard about this?
No.
So it's a term because they think that Latin, because it has like male and female words in it, they feel like it's discriminatory in some way.
Get away.
And they feel like to cover like all, because there's different people like, Mesoamericans and all that type of stuff. So they try to branch it all into one big category, calling them Latinx, and all the Hispanic people I've ever spoken to about this absolutely go into like crazy mode. You know what I mean? Talking about
sure.
they don't appreciate it at all.
I'm sure.
Being called Latinx. What do you guys? Have you guys ever actually came across? I know there's actually quite a few Hispanic people that watch us.
Yeah.
So like, what's your opinion on it? Are we just like, Europers that have no idea what we're talking about, or...
Gracias.
Yeah.
Hermano. I'm 26, and I feel my enjoyment of tabletop dying. It's not as easy anymore with wage cocking full time. I miss when I would work 11 to 5, then once a week, on Wednesdays, my friends would come to the coffee house where I worked alone. I'd close up, and then we'd get a cheap dinner next door, then walk up to the friendly local game store and play D&D till like 9 p.m. Those were the days. Then he started working 100 hours a week. I got a full-time job, and now we play online once in a while, but it's not the same. One of my bros is moving away. At least I have the other two. I have like 4 tabletop groups I mix up bi-weekly, and I'm just getting tired. I hate my job and life. My creative energy is basically gone, although if I really force myself to sit down after work, I can come up with something. I don't understand how people write. I once wrote a 300-page dogshit novel. I thought briefly of writing another one, but I have no energy. I have no soul. I used to write decently, but now I can't. My soul is gone. Something has been sucked out of me. I don't get enough sleep, and I have tetanus from the factory I work in. At this point, I just sort of softly pray for death. I still play RPGs, but once I lose interest in them entirely, I have nothing left to live for.
That's just sad. Bro. You know what that problem is? That's like, I did that, especially in my old job. Like, what happened with me was, it was one of those sort of places, it had the 40-40-40 rule. you know, where everyone's 24 and you work 24 hours a day and, you know, it's just shit and you only pay them like a fucking peasant wage, you know. So I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm not, and they didn't even pay for overtime half the time anyway, so I was like, you know what, go fuck yourself, guys. How does that sound? You know, and because they were that desperate for staff, you know, they just put up with it. Honestly, it's one of those ones. See, when it comes to bullshit
and once
jobs,
you're in that fucking rut, it's so hard to get out of.
It's very difficult. All I can say is, honestly, you need to get out of that job, otherwise it will just get worse. You know, the worst thing is it doesn't get better.
It only gets worse whenever you're like that. I've been running all my games without any prep or writing. Zero. None. I'm terrified of players catching me, but I'm too lazy to prep. I just ask something like, hey gang, want to kill demons in a small US town? Then spend 2 weeks wanking and playing video games I want to prep or write, but I can't. I just wing it, create side missions on the fly and react to interesting player theories by vaguely saying, you might be onto something.
Every fucking time. It's like, you know what, that's actually good. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Then implementing them. Nobody ever caught me or anything, and everyone is always having fun, but I live in constant terror of being exposed for the fraud I am.
You know what that is?
You're playing fun games, does it matter?
Yeah, exactly. You know what it is? I believe DMs, when they first start off, they try and prep as much as they can.
Too much
almost. And I feel like they get really scared, and that's where you end up with DMs.
Or they get angry from rerolling.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly think there's nothing wrong with people that don't prep for their games, as long as they've got the actual ability to improvise.
Yeah.
Like it is a skill, improvisation, and it is something that you need to learn and come up with. But as long as, like, you know, like if you're kind of roll 20, I've got a ton of maps here we could work with. Yeah, we'll throw some of that stuff down. Yeah, you know, we'll go in that direction. I think improvisation is key. I think,
look, if they're having fun,
it doesn't matter.
You're fucking winging it, it's a sign of a good DM, because you're able to wing it and still have the players enjoy what they're doing. Yeah,
most definitely. I don't know. I don't see this as a sin in the slightest. No. It's just
keep doing you, and let's hope you don't get caught.
Yeah, look, it's only you that feels bad about it. If you turn around and told your players, by the way, I haven't planned for this game.
They'd probably be impressed. To be honest. Really?
That was actually, you pulled that out of your asshole. That's pretty good, man. Well done.
The only girl in our group is riddled with mental and physical health issues. Calls herself an NB. Frequently mentions her feminist stuff and alludes to the abuse she faced as a child, and disassociates so frequently that she'll remember maybe a fourth of what happened in the session last week. And yet, despite this, I want to reel her while she stares up at me with those distant eyes as she remembers what happened to her in her past.
That's a fucking sin, man. That's a sin.
Bro.
Man, I'll forgive a lot, but that sounds like a sin. That's definitely a sin. Who am I kidding? Like, it doesn't sound like a sin. That is a sin. Bad boy, get the horny bunk.
Psst. Hey, lean in closer. This is fucking ASMR channel now. You know what's pretty fucking based? Titties. Go see titties. Lots of titties.
All the titties.
Go over to the website, check out all the models. You guys know the score. We have some really nice looking models over there. And we have a lot of...
It's sci-fi gothic.
Yeah.
Let's call them sci-fi gothic.
And if models isn't your shit, we have loads of subclasses and we keep adding them every other week or so. We add a lot.
We got a lot.
Look, we've got big brains. We add shit. But yes, go over to the website, check out everything. If you haven't subscribed, what the fuck you doing? Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, and let's get back to the video. Every week we're going to be doing a giveaway of the new pinup model of the month, or if models isn't your thing, all of our homebrew content. If you want to be in with a chance to win the giveaway, all you need to do is subscribe. That's it. Hit the subscribe button. That's it.
Do it now.
But last week's winner was this guy. Well done! Yay! Round of applause. Everybody stands up and claps. But enough of that. Let's get back to the video. I legitimately cannot remember the last time I washed myself. I just lick the stains off my clothes, cover myself in deodorant, and head out like that. Nobody's told me if I smell so far.
Most people were too nice to turn around and be like, yo mate, you stink.
You stank.
You stank. You stank, you hoe. You stank. You'll feel better. This is one of the bit that I don't get.
I feel so much better after having a shower, brushing my teeth, getting clean clothes on me. I feel so much better.
So that's what I don't get. Why are you licking the stains off your clothes, man? please tell me, like, you know, they're like, I don't want to know what the themes are. You know what? In fact, that's just not. Don't, like, guys. This is a PSA. Wash your dick.
Wash your bum.
You know,
wash your balls. Wash your pets.
Wash your clothes. You know, make sure, like, you know.
If your ring don't sting after you've washed it, it's not clean.
Yeah, it's a PSA, guys.
I'm often seen as a sadistic player killer GM, and I don't mind the players feeling paranoid, even out of character, that I may insta-kill them. But the truth is, I've killed maybe 4 to 6 characters ever, and I'm probably close to 800 hours of GMing over my life. I'm very good at getting people low HP, and making sure they have the tools to survive anyway, and I'm decent at suspense of threat. But I don't actually want anyone to lose their character. I'm ultimately a pretty nice person IRL. I just come off as me, and it makes people not like me, which is my fault, and it's not a persona I will drop, but it does feel bad sometimes. I also unapologetically refuse to play D20 systems anymore, and I'm kind of a dick about it. I just can't go back to systems like that, and I let people know it.
I don't mind. Like, you know, like if you don't want to, if you're a main DM and you don't want to play that system, that's fine. Why would you have to play something that you don't want to play?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that I don't see an issue with that. On the note of, like, you know, like,
people thinking you're a killer DM, keep them like that, because then it keeps them on their toes and it keeps them wanting. They keep figuring out, right, can I get around this so the DM doesn't kill me?
You know what it is, right? So, we're starting up a new Spellage Armor game. This is like season 2 of it, of sorts. But, so the first one, I would say maybe there's about 10 players, 10 active players, and I would say there was over 30, it was high 30s, near 40 characters, like, you know, so most people died, at least 2, 3, maybe 4, like, I think the most was Jonathan, and he had a new character every other week. I think he went through at least 10 characters, so he did, but, you know, I didn't die. But that's because I was playing a rogue, so I just didn't want to get hit ever. You know what I mean?
You
like,
went and attacked and jumped
Well,
back.
that's what you do, like, you're a bit of manoeuvring. Like, you know, it's how you position yourself, and, like, you know, if you're playing smart, if you're playing like this, X, Y, and Z, you know, there's ways and means of getting about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't really have a problem with coming close to death, because I think, like, you know, you need to, if you care about your character, you wouldn't be letting yourself be put into horrible situations, or at least have backup plans of, like, how am I going to get around this situation. I don't know, that's where the most interesting things happen. This is the reason why I like to play low level games instead of high level games, because I feel like level 1 to 3 you have to be very creative with your problem solving, because you don't have much health, you don't have many abilities, you don't have much to work with,
so you have to figure out another way around it.
That's kind of why I like it. It kind of strips it back, and it is very basic, but I feel like you need to think an awful lot more. You need to
adapt better.
Adapt better. That would be a good way to put it.
I'm worried about the current state of the RPG scene. In some ways it's more popular than ever thanks to shit like Critical Role and YouTubers talking about their D&D campaigns. But by and large it's only D&D. It's fine that they're the most popular, but if you talk about nearly any other game, you barely get out of the 1,000 range in terms of raw views. It seems like the only way smaller projects get noticed is if they get if they get the weirdly huge Kickstarter scene to throw money their way. But you rarely hear about the game after it actually launches. I want people to start putting the spotlight on non-D&D games, but I honestly don't know how I'll get it done.
First of all, I would argue a lot of the times when I'm talking to people, I'll just use D&D as a catch-all term. Because
everybody and their granny knows about D&D. Or they've at least...
So
heard of it.
I a lot of the time, like, for instance, like, this is a good one. So I used to put in tabletop RPG in a lot of my titles and thumbnails and stuff instead of D&D, because a lot of the time we're not talking about D&D.
But if you look at normies, then they look at TTRPG, they're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. But everyone recognises what D&D is.
Yeah.
So I think, especially online, if you're looking to
build an audience or whatever, you have to use the term D&D.
Yeah, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That, and also, let's be serious. Like, I don't want to shit on Critical Role, but let's just say D&D podcast in general. Like, you know, what is the biggest game in the genre? It's D&D. That's what everyone knows about. So if most people are interested in it, why would podcasts do anything
not
else.
talk about it? Yeah.
Why would they play a different system that there's not going to be half as many people interested in? The big thing is, I think a lot of times people would watch podcasts and they would see characters or builds or anything, and like, that's a really cool character. I would love to try that out myself.
Yeah.
Even though they could recreate this character in anything else, they want to use the same spells, they want to use the same abilities, they want to, you know what I mean? That's where I think it is, and you know what, like, yeah, okay, it's a bit shit. Once you talk about any other system, there's not going to be half as much of a spotlight on it, but is that a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing.
Neither do I.
I think a lot of people would be more than happy with that, and being a containment zone. You got to keep the normies playing D&D, and let the real nerds,
let the real gamers
let the real gamers do what they want to do. But I don't know. It's all the way you look at it. I honestly don't have a good solution to bringing other games to the forefront. If I be honest, though, I couldn't think of anything unless Critical Role decided to turn around tomorrow and be like,
let's play GURPS.
Yeah. Unless they decided, like, we're gonna completely change. We're gonna go to GURPS. We're gonna go play Shadowrun or Cyberpunk Red or Star Wars: Edge of the Empire. Any of them. That would be the only way you could achieve that. Would be one of the big, huge podcasts turning around and doing that, because the audience is just so mega. It's not even funny.
My girlfriend and I often play one-on-ones in her various homebrew worlds, most often using Pathfinder 1st Edition. Because we're a couple, these would just become ERPs where we would act out our various fantasies together. This might sound wholesome, but it devolved into degeneracy. I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Oh, come on, man. You can't just...
But it was really fucked up. Incest, bestiality, lolicon, rape, all kinds of twisted, fucked up shit. Not necrophilia, though.
Okay, I have standards, guys.
I have some standards. We eventually dropped off those games because we started up other games with our friends. Just before the coof hit, we started a new one-on-one. This time, I wanted to start fresh and put my fantasy degeneracy behind me. In this new game, my character would be waking up in a new world, completely naked. I made a wild-born barbarian, so he could survive in the land alone and fight animals and monsters with his fists if he needed. However, it wouldn't just be all running through the hills and punching deer. His 2-year-old daughter also woke up with him.
Oh my god, no, please don't.
Oh no. He would have to protect her from the wilds. My barbarian settled in a cave by a pond, and soon other lost naked people saw his fire and joined him. My barbarian took up a protector role and beat up some giant spiders and some ants that tried to get into his valley. Meanwhile, he did the best he could to be a good father for his daughter. He brought her flowers and she put them in his hair and beard. Since the settlement was mostly men, in the early periods of the game, it became very patriarchal and trad. I felt like I had redeemed myself of past sins. Now, it isn't a full redemption. My barbarian did eventually hook up with an ASMR trap, and they have rough sex out in the woods whenever they can get a babysitter. They're going to get married in the spring.
Honestly, you know what? That turned out a lot better. I got really
fucking worried.
I got really worried there, but you know what? It worked out nice for you.
And you know what? If it's just between you and your girlfriend,
it doesn't matter.
I don't think that's a sin.
I don't know. This isn't really a sin at all. It's kind of just like post-nut clarity. It's like, oh my fucking god.
Basically.
Yeah, what have I done? Guys, shit. Honestly, it worked out a lot better than I expected. Good on you. And I suppose even you say, at least I've got standards. Nice. Nice.
Years ago, I met a girl at my uni's RPG society. She wasn't a looker, but I really just wanted to get laid at the time. Turns out she ERP'd via IRC, so one time when I was hanging out with her and saw her doing it, I casually dropped the idea of us buddy fucking and she agreed. I'll be honest, it wasn't bad at all. She could have benefited from losing a few pounds, but I'm not exactly Hercules myself, so I can't complain. Her main issue was her masculine face and dyke haircut. After a few hours of banging, during the pillow talk, she mentioned she thought about transitioning because she always enjoyed being the dude in her IRC ERPs, but that she also enjoyed being fucked as a woman and wanted to embrace motherhood, but as a man. I ghosted her immediately after because I was fucking freaked out. If you think you have low self-esteem, then imagine how fucked my confidence was in myself when a woman I had just had sex with told me she wanted to be a man.
Yeah, you fucked up, man. Like, honestly, I don't know, you like, you know, it's like, oh, the only thing about it's like, mate, it was you that you had the idea. You asked. You got
Obviously,
no.
you liked enough if you asked her to be a fucking fuck.
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't know, you got no leg to stand on here when it's you that initiated the
activities, the extracurricular.
Yeah, you got no leg to stand on, man. Yeah, I don't know if that's a sin or not. Is it a sin? I don't know.
I don't think it's a sin.
Look, guys, give us your sins. You guys know. You guys. I know what you guys are. Have any of you guys been on our Facebook group? That's a fucking sin. That is a fucking sin. Honestly, so's our thingy looking for group Discord server. That's a fucking sin. That's a huge sin. Anything we touch is a sin.
I don't know why it's like this, guys.
Yeah, everything we do is a fucking sin against humanity as a whole. But look, you know, I don't think there was many genuine sins in this thread. I don't think there was anything, like, really that bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's bad, but, like, you know, I've seen worse.
Yeah.
I came across a lot worse, so, you know. And, like, you know, again, because, again, the biggest thing is, with a lot of these posts, like, you know, they know themselves to be sins, and they are looking forgiveness. So, I think as long as you can detect that yourself...
Yeah.
You know yourself what the problems are. You know yourself
you can
work with that. Once you've identified the issues, I think you can rework that. Well, what do you guys think? I think there might be something to that. But yeah, after all that, do you guys want to buy some fucking Coomer models? Look.
Check out the links down below to the website for all the good models and all the subclasses. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!